was making comedy at some point, and he said God was creating the world. When God was creating the world, he was, as they start with the angels, all the resources he was sending to Nigeria, everything Nigeria, all the resources. And then the angels asked, God, why are you sending everything to Nigeria? Is it that you want Nigeria to be the most powerful country in the world? And God just tapped the angel and said, no, just wait, don't worry. Wait and see the type of people I'm going to put there. I mean, we have not been able to successfully even boil an egg. You are talking about moving to electric car. Now, this car, you see, people don't understand. What is our mainstay? It's oil and gas. You understand? Electric car means you are going to take away, you understand, all these refineries you see. Nigeria is even talking about building new refineries. Right. You can imagine. Right. It means the refineries will no longer exist. You understand? People will no longer buy, nothing will happen. And Nigeria has not been able to successfully diversify, even with all the money that has accrued to it as a country. You understand? Right. Just as Akanimo said, as the electric car comes in, everything will be coming in from abroad. And here, this will just condition our economy to produce, to perform at primary level. You understand? That is what it's going to do to the Nigerian economy. You understand? Operating at the primary level, why they give you everything and collect your own money and you end up producing nothing. Right. At the end of the day, you also end up getting nothing.
Lawson, don't you feel that the problem majorly would be with putting in money to boost manufacturing? Not like we don't have the technical know-how or professionals who can actually meet up with the standards that the world is setting.
Look, technology, make no mistake, don't sit where you are and think technology will be transferred. For years, look at the Pojo assembly plant. At the end of the day, they say from assembling, technology will be transferred. What technology transferred is Nigeria producing Pojo cars today. Or the factory just closed down. You understand? Nobody will transfer. A man was telling you how with 180K, you understand, you get solar. The question will be asking is how many loads can it carry? How many loads? For you to carry your fridge, power your pumping machine, and every other thing, you will need about 450,000 to 480,000.
That's the question I've been asking all the people who have been, asking for solar. But thank you very much for calling in, Lawson.
People don't know.
We've got to move on now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've talked for too long there.
All right, so we'll just go straight to the text messages and WhatsApp messages we have here. This one says, good afternoon, guys. The way out is for federal government to diversify the economy into agriculture and manpower development that would bring about good revenue drive. Don't be surprised if the price of oil in the global markets drop down to $20 per barrel. So many people may lose the jobs in the oil and gas industry. From Success Udo in Rumukushi. This other one says, truth be said. Okay, let me start with the first message. Good afternoon. My name is Gus Gibbs from Eneka River State. Though it might be quite difficult, I believe it is possible for Nigeria to survive on electric cars. We don't struggle for sunshine, so the use of solar energy would be easier and helpful to us. Truth be said, should we decide to start it, we will succeed. The only way to perfection is to begin, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and improve. Rome wasn't built in a day. All right, thank you very much, God's gift. And okay, that's pretty much what we can take. The other messages are for the first half.
I think I do understand what the first caller was trying to say. He wasn't talking about the batteries for a fuel car already uses batteries, but he wasn't talking about those batteries. He was talking about batteries that would contain the electric charges. I think I understand what you're trying to say now, but then again, you will still need to power those batteries because the batteries will run down and you still need to recharge. And now the recharging is going to be the problem for solar. I'm wondering the kind of capacity of solar that one would need to power vehicles that will be coming in numbers. Remember, these solar stations would have to be really, 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 really strong to be able to carry about 10, 50, 100 vehicles per time, because that is how filling stations run, right?
The truth is, the best way to equip Nigeria for the coming change will be industrialization. Putting in a lot of money to develop technical know-how and manpower. Now, take for instance somebody who called in and said that there has been some kind of innovation with keke in I think it was Abia State he mentioned. Owerri, okay, where they already use electric tricycles and all of that. Now, it then means that there are persons who have the capacity or the technical know-how as to how these things should operate or what can be done. Now, where the problem is in investing in those know-how, in that know-how rather. So that's where the problem is. So are we ready to see leadership that is ready to invest in industrialization?
Like I said, at the beginning of this conversation, the talk of power supply comes into play, because yet again, solar will still need to be supported by power supply, because
that's how industrialization works.
Yes,
you have to make sure that the power sector is up and running.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's what I'm now just trying to second what you said. The power sector has to be running. Then we need to have locally made vehicles, like Innocent and any other one who wants to pop up.
Just encourage locally made things, and then locally made local professionals rather. That's where the problem is.
All right then. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Canada, please. I just have to call back.
Oh, yeah, quickly, so we'll move on.
I want to ask, why do we always get shadows and leaf objects? Electric car and petrol powered car. Which one is more cost effective? Which one do we have input?
Electric is more.
Which one do we have input from our country? Is it the electric car or petrol powered car?
Currently, none of them. As far as I'm concerned, none of them.
Input in terms of revenue.
Input in terms of the material for it. We already have fuel here. That is petroleum.
Okay. We don't.
So I beg to differ.
We don't have the fuel. We import the fuel. We don't have the fuel. We need to.
Of course, we have the crude here.
We have electricity. We have electricity. We have electricity.
DK, I'm sorry, DK. Now, imagine, if we become one of the world leading producers of electric cars, don't you think that cars already have a big market globally? If we produce so much, it then means that somehow we would be able to make revenues from our exports, which means industrialization would also be good for Nigeria. So don't you think that it's a win-win
if we actually... That is a very good suggestion, but which car do we produce in this country? We won't produce by Innocent Motors.
All right, thank you very much. And who says Innocent Motors cannot develop itself and go electric? But keep your calls coming in, because we are about wrapping up the show. We're about to draw the curtains on today's hustle here on Today 95.1 FM. And we've shifted the argument from whether Nigeria is ready for life after oil and ready for electric cars and ready for the movement from oil to other sources of energy, and moved on to whether oh my God, whether we can or we can't. That's not the argument, rather. But 95.1 FM, what's your name and where are you calling from? Hello? All right. Nobody there. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good day.
Mr. John. Mr. John, welcome.
Yes. Necessity, they say, is the mother of invention.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm very sure that if we are faced with the challenge of, powering our vehicle, electrical cars, Nigerians can surmount such challenge. We can, yes, we can. You see people that will go into the business of establishing power bank filling stations, to power such vehicles.
All right.
But that's not the issue. The issue here is our mainstay, just as Lawson argued, is crude oil for now. And what it means is that going into electrical cars, it means you are going to abandon the crude or petrol. Then, negatively, it will still affect Nigeria economy. I think when the argument came up in the Senate and House of Reps, that was the argument some people...
But Mr. John, we are talking about leaving oil and relegating it to the back burners. So think about it.
There's no way. Yeah, we can't just abandon what God has given us for now, since there is no market on it.
Did you listen to Wealth?
Yes.
We've been blessed with so many other natural resources that we can use, and actually, all those other natural resources have been relegated, right? And is it not God that He gave it to us? It's God that gave it to us.
For now, this is the one that is selling, and you can see. I know that in the nearest future there might be no market for it, or it will, not exist.
And that's
again.
the question. That's the question.
But the truth is that the Senate, as at that time, is saying that even if we are going to go into such, if for now.
Okay, so we should wait. We should wait until that time.
In other words, they have to, hold on until when there is clearly no market for it. Then we'll move in.
Okay.
Oh
but the truth is that we have to start preparing. We are not preparing. The indications are there, and that's why when any little shake-up comes, we start shivering.
All right.
Because we are not ready yet. But unfortunately, we had time. There was time for we have the oil boom, we have everything. We didn't make use of it.
All right, we've got to go now. We've got to go now. Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Anybody home?
Actually, anybody home? Nobody's home. All right then. That sounded funny, 95.1 FM. Okay, I missed that one.
95.1 FM.
Yeah, this is Pastor Zayajot.
Good afternoon, Pastor Zayajot. Go on.
You see, let me tell you, there is no how we won't survive as a people. All these things we are trying to put together is just what the Bible calls as a man thinketh. We are just putting the man's strength and wisdom together, trying to think ahead of what we going to befall us maybe by tomorrow. Presumptions and all of that. That is what we are. But let me tell you, there is one thing from politicians that when they get to the bridge,
they will
not
cross it.
know how to cross it.
Okay.
And definitely they will put all measures, everything humanly possible to see that they cross the bridge. That is what they are telling. So we should just
so we should wait for the bridge now. We should wait for the bridge. We should not think of how to cross the bridge.
No. That is why I'm saying that as a man, we will think and make suggestions that is just what we are doing ahead of time. The rep, the Senate, all of them are doing exactly what we are doing now. It's happening. What you and your colleagues is doing, what the callers are doing, the senators, the reps, the government is also doing. But to them, they believe because me and you, we are just a floor member. They are the ones leading and running the affairs of this country. When they get to the bridge, they will definitely cross.
The same way they have crossed managing the resources that we've gotten from crude oil, right?
Since 1970s.
The same way they've been crossing that bridge. It's all good. It's all good.
I mean, for you to cross the bridge, you either need a vehicle, a motorcycle, a kekena pep, a tricycle, and I don't know. I mean, you need to think about it, or you might need to buy yourself some shoes,
or you walk your way through.
That's why I say you need to buy yourself some shoes, just because there might be nails on the bridge, right? So, don't you think we should now begin to create the things that we need? It's not when we get to the bridge, we now start creating it when everybody has left us and crossed the bridge. That's when we now start saying, okay, Malam, can you sew my shoe? Can you? I mean, we'll be like the foolish virgins in the Bible. I mean, think about it. Everybody's going to leave us, and we'll just be there and trying to go find oil to oil our lamps. But that's the much we can take. It's been a wonderful show with Wealth Wilson and yours truly, Kalada, on today's also. Let's do this again tomorrow. Up until then, stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM, because the news update at 3 with Wealth Wilson is up next. Stay tuned.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good afternoon. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Wealth Wilson. There are indications that the Rivers State government will soon begin a computerized vehicle inspection. Our correspondent Ufunaya Obebe Ndukwe gathered that 3 inspection sites have been completed, while a 4th one is still under construction. A source told our correspondent that the computerized vehicle inspection offices have been built in Waterlines, Ivrea Bay and Marine Bays, while the one in LML local government area is still under construction. The vehicle inspection process is expected to include testing of brake force, brake efficiency, headlight, suspension, and more. Vehicle inspection is made compulsory by both federal and state laws, which stipulates that private vehicles are to be inspected once in a year and commercial vehicles twice a year. Commercial drivers have decried alleged constant extortion by some police officers at various checkpoints in Port Harcourt. Some of the commercial drivers who spoke to our correspondent, Rosemary Nwabasi, said the act is becoming unbearable for them. The drivers said action by some of the police officers leave them with almost nothing at the end of the day. The Ministry of Youth and Sport have announced the closure of the ongoing orientation of the National Youth Service Corps. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, said this as part of the federal government's precautionary measure against the spread of coronavirus disease. The orientation program started on March 10 and was supposed to end on March 30. All corps members are now to be paid and sent to their places of primary assignments. The Federal Executive Council meeting today observed a minute silence to honor victims of Sunday's Abola Ado explosion in Lagos State. The meeting, which was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, also observed a minute silence to honor the memory of former Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Emmanuel Emovun. Professor Emovun, who died on February 20, 2020 at the age of 90, was the Minister of Science and Technology under the rule of Military President General Ibrahim Babangida. He was also Vice Chancellor at the University of Jos, Plateau State. On the foreign scene, the new coronavirus has infected more than 200,000 globally since the beginning of the outbreak in December. Nearly 200,680 people around the world have been infected, with more than 80,000 deaths as of 1 p.m. today. The tallies are calculated using data collected by AFP offices from national authorities and information from the World Health Organization. And that's the wrap of the news update at 3. Today's Sports Live comes up next. Thank you for listening. I am Wealth Wilson.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack, weekdays 7:30 a.m. and Today's Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
See me see wahala wahala day, 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 wahala day. As we dey enter, that's so some people just dey mental, cause when they feel this instrumental,
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
A beautiful afternoon to you. Welcome to yet another edition of Today's Sports Live, reaching you from the studios of our premium news talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM, right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. It's the Wednesday's edition of Today's Sports Live, and my name is Wisdom Obina, your anchor on the show this afternoon. And joining me in the studio to do justice to the stories are Emeka Dena. Emeka, welcome to the show.
Not different countries we they enter from January to December.
All right, just one person joining me here.